is supposed to be there to grab it. It bounces off pit wall, rolls back out into traffic.
We talked about the opportunity to make mistakes on track. Can't have those. Can't have them on pit road either.
Well, I think Joe Shear Jr. was calling a perfect race. That was the best time to come to pit road. You get plenty of fuel. You're one of the first guys in. You want to do that in case the caution flies. You've got your stop done. And as I was talking before, Quiroga proved to be very fast on those used tires. So I don't think you'll see anyone pit again for tires. This is the last stop, and it needs to happen right now before the caution flies.
And remember, guys, they've already made a pit stop, so they know what their mileage is here on race day, as we see Cole Custer make his way to pit road for a pass-through penalty. And that is going to kill his track position.
And we talk about the ability to go fast lap after lap. You also have to make sure you're calm and cool and don't get another penalty from getting to pit road too fast or speeding down this long pit road. It's got to be agonizing for this kid to know that he's just given a chance to win this race away.
Second time we've seen heartbreak for Cole Custer on a road course this season. Remember Watkins Glen, K&N East race, running second, final turn, final lap. Hit the entry to the pit lane, didn't get the finish he deserved. Armand Quiroga now the race leader, 36 laps complete for the trucks. Sandwiched in between race day and victory lane, how about some Sunday night college football? High expectations in Waco. 10th ranked Baylor hosting SMU, opening up a brand new stadium. Going to be good tonight. Live, Fox Sports 1 at 7 p.m. Eastern. And here comes the race leader to pit road, Armand Quiroga at lap 38, Ray.
Pit road has been very busy, Adam. We've seen lots of trucks in. Butch Hilton said if we can get to 39 on the track 40 in the box, we'll be in great shape for green-white checkers. That's what they've done. They'll put tires on this thing right now. Remember, last time they pitted, it was a fuel-only stop, which got them great track position. So far, everything very smooth for the OtterBox crew. A little bit of trouble pulling off the right rear. They'll get in there, get ready to go, and that truck is done. Just ahead of him, the number 20 of Greg Golding has come in. They've got fuel going in this one. Chris Rice said, keep your foot on the brake, because remember, this part of pit road does face downhill. They're putting fuel in. He'll be in on the same lap. Look like their pit stop maybe just a second longer than the 77.
These are scheduled green flag pit stops, likely the final stops of the day, with 25 laps to go here at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. We got coverage from Ray on a handful of trucks that came down there at lap 39. Tell us about the others that have already made their stops under green, Phil.
Yeah, Bubba Wallace, Andrew Ranger, Eric Jones, Alex Tagliani. You see, right? See, there's the 19 of Alex Tagliani. He's already made his pit stop.
I'll tell you, after all these pit stops, Phil, I think maybe you got to look at Ryan Blaney and Armand Quiroga as being in the best spot after pit stops. We know that Blaney had a differing strategy by pitting just once as his plan, and then Quiroga's strategy was different by not getting tires on his first stop. Both those plays seem to be paying off.
Yeah, we figured out Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney will be the leader once everyone makes their pit stop. He's the only guy right now that has a chance of making this race on one pit stop. And I think he also has the opportunity of just putting fuel in. I mean, I'm sorry, if he has to come to pit road for whatever reason, it would be just a very quick stop for a little bit of fuel. But I think right now they've made their bed, and they're going to try to make sure he saves enough fuel to get those extra couple laps they may need.
Yeah, and I like where that team is. I think that he ran far enough in the first stint to tell us that he can make it on this long haul. He's got some great track position. He can save some fuel right now as well where he's running. He's got a couple 3 seconds over the truck behind him that he's raced against. So conserving and saving fuel right now, waiting and thinking that there's going to be a caution that lies ahead. Maybe that's enough of a cushion to get Ryan Blaney to the finish. He needs a good finish, a couple of tough weeks like we mentioned earlier for that team.
Johnny Sauter leads the way here with 24 laps remaining. You guys talking about Ryan Blaney in the runner-up position. Armand Quiroga's gotten his services third. Eric Jones, the youngster who's been so impressive all weekend long, right now fourth, and his teammate Darrell Wallace Jr. right behind him in fifth. Is there you see Ben Kennedy on pit road, Ray?
They did 4 tires, Adam. Also packed that thing full of fuel. He said he's been really good going through the fast part of the racetrack, but having a little bit of trouble with his brakes when he gets to Moss Corner.
The race leader, Johnny Sauter, coming down the front straightaway, bypassing the pit lane one more time. What's the story there, Ray?
Well, remember last year Johnny Sauter finished 28th at this race, and today they came in here with a whole different thought process. As I said, they're on a bit of a different strategy on the pits, but Johnny Sauter just had this to say moments ago to Jeff Hensley.
Tires out, Jeff. They're chattering. In 4, buddy. Just give me about 4 more laps. We'll stop.
Obviously, talking about tire chatter, Johnny Sauter saying, I'd like to come in and do that pit stop. Hensley saying, we've got a strategy. Stay with me here. We're going to get you in here late, but that'll get him fresher tires towards the end.
Cole Custer, we saw him with some issues on pit road. He finds himself battling with Darrell Wallace Jr.
Remember, he had to serve that pit pass-through penalty. It takes about 30 seconds from the time you enter pit road to you exit pit road without a pit stop.
I'm going to go back to something that you said, Michael, when he had the issue on pit road, not of his making, tire got away, has to do the pass-through penalty. You talked about the mental toughness when you pay your debt to NASCAR to not speed and get frustrated. Not only did he not do that, he's now back inside the top 5, and he's doing this in 16 years of age, mature beyond his years.
And we've seen the same thing out of Eric Jones. Both those young racers have been able to come in here. Look at Bubba Wallace. He's only 20. I mean, he's a 2-time winner this year.
He's an old guy.
Yeah, and it's just been so impressive to watch these kids get their legs under them and go out there and run side by side with the veterans, race alongside a guy like Alex Tagliani and Andrew Ranger, and hold their own. Not only hold their own, but pass them and run away from them.
We talk about Johnny Sauter with that lead right now. 2 laps ago, it was 5 seconds over Ryan Blaney. Right now, under 3 seconds. Ryan Blaney has clipped 2 seconds off the lead in the last 2 laps.
You know, the later you can come to pit road here, the less fuel you've got to put in, the less time you have to stay on the pit lane. It could pay huge dividends, the strategy they've got playing out here.
Yeah, especially for Johnny Sauter. But how about for Ryan Blaney? How about not coming to pit road? How much time will that cost you?
That'll really help you on your pit stop time.
Well, I just like the mixing it up. We've seen that type of strategy with Ryan Blaney. We saw it with Armand Quiroga. It's so hard to gain track position on a road course because passing is so tough. The easiest place to pass, obviously, the less time you can spend on pit road, and that's what we've seen today pay off so far. The 2 guys that have had the differing strategy are running 2nd and 3rd now and are done pitting. That could be the key to winning today.
But we've all been talking about the cautions we're going to get. We haven't gotten one yet. Had 5 here a year ago. Yeah. So obviously everybody minding their P's and Q's, and that may not be the best recipe for the truck you see right there, Ryan Blaney, who is 2nd, and we feel like needs some laps under caution if he's going to be able to make this strategy work.
Again, Chad Kendrick has his fuel mileage run from that first run. He knows how far, what kind of mileage that truck was getting. Ryan Blaney will tell him how much fuel he saved. He saved all he could on the 3 pace laps, and he's going to tell him how much he saved here while he's running. So right now, Chad Kendrick is a guy that knows whether he can make it without a couple caution laps.
And I want to tell you,
I think we need to ask him. What do you think?
I think the whole world's going to change when and if that caution does fly. And I'm saying when because I believe it will. You've got guys like Andrew Ranger back outside the top 10. Alex Tagliani, lightning fast. He's running in the A spot. You line all these guys up for a double file restart like you talked about earlier, Adam, the whole world's going to change.
I said earlier we might go to overtime here. Chad Kendrick says, bite your lip. We need no green-white checker finish today.
Here comes Johnny Sauter, our leader to pit road. That's going to hand the lead over to Ryan Blaney and Armand Quiroga.
Ryan Blaney flashes by, goes by the start-finish line.
Here comes the 98, Ray.
Johnny Sauter will come down to the pits. Remember, they put 4 tires on last time. We'll see what if they decide to make any kind of a gamble here. Sunoco Fuel is in on the right side. The Nexton Aerospace crew goes to work. They've got the left sides on. No, it will indeed be a 4-tire stop. Jeff Hensley's telling them, get this pit stop done smoothly. They will do that. They see that chassis adjustment for Johnny Sauter as he leaves with 20 laps to go. Now, by Sauter coming off the racetrack, that puts the lead in the hands of Ryan Blaney, and right behind him, the number 77 of Herman Quiroga. On the radio moments ago, Butch Hilton just said to Herman, run a nice, smooth race. We have got this thing in the bag. We are 2 laps to the good on fuel, and Ryan Blaney is 1.5 laps or more short. If this thing stays green, we got him covered.
Let's just hope for everyone's sake the calculator is not broke today. And now our Camping World 20 to go. If you're just joining us on this Sunday afternoon, we are live in Bowmanville, Ontario on Fox Sports 1. It's round 14 for the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Camping World Truck Series doing battle here today. 44 of 64 laps complete. Your race leader is Ryan Blaney. Armand Quiroga runs second. Johnny Sauter is third, the championship leader. And then you've got Eric Jones and Cole Custer scored inside the top 5. 19 laps remaining. How will the drama unfold? We've got it for you after a break here on Fox Sports 1. First caution of the day out here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for the Camping World Truck Series. 15 laps to go as we circulate under caution. The race leader is Ryan Blaney. And when we go green, starting to his left, will be Armand Quiroga. Let's listen in to the 77 radio here under caution.
Hey, Armand, just information here, bud. Just information. Where you got passed into turn 10 to driver's right, that's where almost all the passes that I've seen today for position have happened. Drivers have opened up driver's right, and somebody dive bombs the corner. So just be aware of that when you get going here, bud.
So these two on the front row for the restart. And I think we all remember what happened last year late in the race.
And that's just an example of dive bombing on the inside. That's exactly what Chase Elliott did. There was contact between he and Ty Dillon around Dillon went.
And oh, by the way, that was coming to the checker. And I talked about the significance of the 29 and 77 restarting on the front row. Why is that a big deal, Phil?
Well, actually, they had a bit of an issue at Bristol, a little bit of a disagreement. They actually ran into each other after the checkered flag over something that went on the racetrack. Just got confirmation that they were called to the NASCAR hauler to talk about that here when they got to Motorsport, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. So obviously they have a little bit of issue that was allegedly put behind them. Everything should be okay, but when you're going for a win, you remember a lot of things.
You remember everything. Remember earlier in the race, that radio talk to Armand was because Andrew Ranger got to the inside of Armand here at turn 10 early in the going and made that pass. His spotter, Terry Cook, just wanted him to be aware of that's how the pass happened to him, and he had seen other passes executed that way as well.
And Ranger telegraphed that pass, got clear up beside Armand. Armand gave him room. Now, we saw Chase Elliott last year. He didn't really have that much room on the 3 truck, but we get late in the race here. We're inside of 15 laps to go. You're going anyway.
So the lights are out on the pace truck, and unlike what you would see on an oval, typically you get the one to go at the start-finish line on a road course, and in particular here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, you get it in turn 5. So the drivers have been alerted. They will come down the Mario Andretti straightaway, make their way through the S's, and off of turn 10, they will get set for the green flag. And on the restart, it will be Ryan Blaney scored as the race leader. Armand Quiroga starting next to him. We talked about those two. Row 2, a couple of youngsters, Eric Jones, Cole Custer. And how about 2 more young guys in row 3, Darrell Wallace Jr., Gray Gaulding, and then 2 vets, Alex Tagliani, who started on the pole, alongside last year's champion, Matt Crafton.
You talked about Tagliani going from 23rd to 2nd on a green-white checker at Elkhart Lake. Keep an eye on that 19 truck.
You're exactly right. And also Andrew Ranger, he's back in the 12th spot. Problems on pit road for that team. He has lost all of his track position. But, Phil, you've raced all day long. You're Ryan Blaney, you're Armand Quiroga. You've gained that track position. You've got to fight to keep it as we race toward the checkered.
They've waved off the restart. Green flag when we return. I've enjoyed my entire weekend here in Ontario.
I love coming to Canada. The race fans up here love their NASCAR. We're coming down to a restart. We're getting this thing on down to the finish. And Phil, we were talking at the break. You said Tagliani wins. I said I think maybe Custer wins. And then you finally said I think everybody gets knocked out of the way. I mean that's
who's going to be left standing.
That's what we're looking at. It's going to become a push and shoving match.
Restart. 13 to go. Ryan Blaney, the blue 29, the yellow 77, Armand Quiroga. Both have led laps here today. Green flag back in the air here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Bubba Wallace spun the tires. Look at Tagliani.
Out of line, trying to gain some ground on the restart is our pole sitter in the 19. You see him about 6 deep. Up the hill and hard left-hand turn at turn 2.
Side by side now with a 00. I mean, the 20 of Greg Gaulding, he looks like he may have that spot.
Gonna crack the top 5.
Look at Cole Custer moves to the inside of Eric Jones. Makes a little bit of contact.
That's the 00.